Hello and welcome back to my latest Myrtle Beach real estate video blog where I'm bringing you relevant topics about our local real estate market here along the Grand Strand. Thanks for joining me. And I want to talk to you about today about a topic I get questions about. Should I rent the property or sell it? So for the sake of the conversation here, let's assume this is a person that's either it's their primary residence and they're moving, or it's a secondary home that they're not going to use anymore and they've never rented it before. So you're an owner of a property and the intent was never to rent the home. It was a second home or your primary residence, and you're moving or not going to use it anymore, and you're trying to decide, do I rent it out or do I sell the property? This is a very common question, especially in the kind of environment we're in now in the marketplace. So let's address this. I've got an article below that you can read. I've taken a little different slant and kind of listed some pluses and some negatives. So when you look at making this decision, I think you have to add up the positives and the negatives and see which one makes the most sense after that. So let me just read to you what I wrote down, and hopefully it'll make some sense and bring some value if you're thinking about doing renting or selling right now. So I think some of the positives could be that it could be an income producer for you. It could be passive income. And who doesn't want passive income? So if this is a property that has equity that could rent and it's a positive cash flow, then it's something to consider. That could be a positive. Certainly over the long haul, if you own this for quite a long time, there would be appreciation eventually. I think that's definitely a plus. And certainly there is tax advantages. Speak to your CPA, but there's tax advantages revolving around rental properties, as you can depreciate them and those type of things. So those are some pluses. Also, you have the ability to own that property and use it down the road if your plans change. Maybe you move back into town or you decide to start using it as a second home. You still own it. Now, there's some negatives I think that you have to look at as, or at least question yourself about before you decide to rent it or if you decide to sell it. You got to look at, number one, what is my outlay of expenses, and then what can I produce on an income? So in other words, what's my negative cash flow if there is one? So if I'm negative every month, and of course annually I'm negative, I have to look at what is my tolerance to have a negative cash flow financially. How much can I tolerate there in terms of negative cash flow? One thing that I talk to a lot of owners that don't calculate this. When you're a primary resident here and you become a long-distance landlord, or you move away and you rent it, your property taxes will go up dramatically. And I'm not talking about from $1,000 to $1,500. I'm talking they could go up literally 3.5 to 4 times. So you have to calculate your negative or your expenses. You have to look at what my property taxes will now be as an investor rate versus a primary resident. Very important. The other thing is certainly you got to look at vacancies. People will look at, well, Greg, my expenses are $1,000. I can rent it for $1,100, so I'm positive $100 a month. Well, the thing you got to look at also is, we have to calculate. Are you talking about a rental manager? If you're living in, Chicago and you're renting a property 1,000 miles away, do you have a rental manager? That's usually 10%. Do you calculate for vacancies? How about repairs? Carpet, paint, broken items that come up. So I think you have to calculate minimum 10% a month of your gross income, allocate towards miscellaneous expenses. And so we have to plug these items in to the formula: expenses, potential repairs, add that up, and then look at the income and see, what are we dealing with? Are we truly in the positive, or are we kidding ourselves and we're losing money every month? And the other thing to look at is prices. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, the best of the best experts that have all the data, truly don't know. We're seeing inventory right now in the short run here in the spring start to go down a little bit, which is encouraging. But we also know there's other factors going on. There's a lot of inventory that's shadow inventory that could come on. So could prices fall? I think you have to be thinking long term if you're choosing to rent it, and long-term is 5+ years. And the other thing is this your intent? Do you want to be an investor, or do you need your cash out to go buy something else somewhere else? So I hope this is helpful. I mean, I think the best way to do it is just draw a line and put the pluses and minuses for you. How much do I owe? What's my monthly outlay? How much will I have coming in? And just make a good business decision, I think, is the best way to look at this. Separate the emotion and make a business decision. And if I can help you analyze this on your personal property, if you're thinking about this, I'd be glad to do it. I do it all the time. And it may be the best thing for you to rent the property out. That's a possibility, but certainly could be the right thing to sell it. Call me or email me if I can be of service. As always, I appreciate you watching these videos. I hope I'm bringing value and something that can contribute to you. So if I can be of service, give me a call. Look forward to talking to you next time. Bye-bye.